Hi everybody, welcome back to my new channel CrowdScale, where I review companies that are currently crowdfunding and let you know my opinion on whether they are investable or not. Today I will be reviewing Irrigreen. Irrigreen is a smart sprinkler system that is currently raising funds on Republic. They've raised nearly $500,000 from almost 1,000 individual investors, and for as little as $150 you can invest as well. Okay, so this one was a fun one to research because Irrigreen solves so many of the problems facing traditional sprinkler systems. Traditional sprinkler systems suck, okay? In order to ensure full coverage, the sprinkler heads overlap with one another and it leads to overwatering and puddling. They also don't take into consideration weather patterns, so when it's downpouring, your sprinkler system could still be running. And then lastly, they spray areas that don't need water, such as sidewalks and driveways, and this just leads to so much waste. All right, so Irrigreen comes in, they go, the current system isn't working. And so what they do is they create a digital sprinkler head that has multiple nozzles and can adjust and be programmed to fit the exact contour of your lawn. So for example, if you don't want a specific area to be sprayed, then you can program it within the app. And look how satisfying that is. And so that cuts down a lot on the waste. So that right there is the most aesthetically pleasing and obvious way that Irrigreen saves consumers money by reducing water consumption. They don't stop there though. Irrigreen claims that its system requires 80% less sprinkler heads. So in traditional sprinkler systems, they typically place sprinkler heads around the perimeter and space them out so that each sprinkler head reaches the next sprinkler head. But as you can see here, this leads to overwatering and a giant puddle in the middle. Irrigreen sprinkler heads are placed in the middle of the lawn and have multiple nozzles built in so that it can maintain full coverage without overwatering. Then they take it one step further by patching in weather data so that when it's raining, your sprinkler system knows not to run. All in all, the Irrigreen sprinkler system saves approximately 50% of water, which is a huge amount of savings to pass on to consumers, and it also helps reduce waste. While Irrigreen is primarily about reducing waste, it also claims to be more durable and easier to install. On the durability front, their whole pitch is because it requires 80% less pipes, 80% less sprinkler heads, and elimination of valves, there's just less opportunity for things to break, and so it'll naturally last longer. Then on the installation front, there's just so much less piping, valves, sprinkler heads to install, so it's a quicker turnaround time, and then you just connect to the app. So all of that is great, but you always want to check to make sure that the consumer demand is actually there for this product. And it looks like it is. Their past 30-day sales are an increase of 8-fold over last year's same time period. So that's great to see. You also see that 80% of their jobs are actually retrofits, where you retrofit an existing sprinkler system. So this is just another proof point that people are fed up with the traditional sprinkler system and they want the next better thing. Okay, so I want to talk about Irrigreen's competition. They list a few of their competitors, but really the only one you need to look out for is Rakio. It's a terrible name because I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it properly, and I don't know how it ties back to irrigation or watering, but it's besides the point. Basically, it's an easy add-on to your existing sprinkler systems that can still help out with waste reduction. Whereas Irrigreen makes each one of your sprinkler heads smart and adaptable, Rakio is actually an add-on where you just connect to your existing sprinkler system and then you can control your sprinkler system through their app. Now, it obviously doesn't save the same amount of water that an Irrigreen system saves, but this is also a $200-ish product, so it's a much lower investment than Irrigreen. I think their pitch here is actually less based on water savings and more based on consumers' desire to control everything from your phone. Now, I don't think this is a market where only one company can survive and thrive. I think they can both be successful and both exist. I think Rakio is going to probably have more market share, if I'm being honest, but at their lower price point, it's kind of like that first step towards a better sprinkler system, and then Irrigreen is the next step. But obviously at a higher price point, they don't need to sell as many units to achieve profitability and be successful. I should also mention that Irrigreen actually has 6 patents under its name, which I love to see. It gives me some sense of a floor to their value and prevents large companies that can come in and just, duplicate what Irrigreen has done. I think the opportunity for Irrigreen is extremely high, and while they are currently focused on residential properties, I think they can actually carve out a very nice niche in commercial properties, and this wouldn't directly compete with Rakio either. I think commercial properties make a lot of sense given the cost savings and waste reduction that Irrigreen provides. One thing that I actually loved seeing on the crowdfunding page was in the comment section. There are so many contractors that were commenting, "I love this product, it's everything I needed, how can I get set up so that I can start offering this to my customers?" And I love to see this, especially because Irrigreen lists their customer acquisition cost at $550, which is pretty steep. If they can get the contractors to start pushing out product for them, that's less money they have to spend on advertising and more money that can go straight to the bottom line. It's pretty clear why contractors love Irrigreen. Not only is it a superior product, but it can actually make them more money. Contractors' main expense is typically labor. And if you look at this chart, you can see that because the Irrigreen system involves much less piping and trenching, that it significantly reduces the amount of hours spent on installation. By Irrigreen's estimates, this doubles the contractor's profit margin from 24% to 51%. I always like to think of what a crowdfunding company's exit strategy is so that I know how I can make a return in my investment. For Irrigreen, I don't see them going public. It just doesn't seem right to me. However, I could see them being bought by another company, and I think that's the most likely outcome as they grow and get bigger. Okay, so here's what I think about this investment. I think it fixes a real problem that consumers have, and it fits in well with a lot of macro trends that are going to go on for a while. Let me throw some statistics at you to demonstrate the tailwinds that this company is going to have supporting it. The 7 hottest years in the history of accurate record keeping have been the last 7 years. In a report, The Guardian found that water bills from 2010 to 2018 increased 27%. In Austin, Texas, these water bills increased by 154%. Add that to the fact that environmental conservation is increasingly important to consumers. 70% of Americans now believe that the environment is more important than economic growth. This gives Irrigreen a nice cross of, I want to save money and I want to do good for the environment, because sometimes those two contradict each other, but in this case, they actually work together. The last positive trend I want to identify is that people want to control things from their phone. eMarketer found that 70% of households in North America will be smart homes by 2024. So in closing, I think Irrigreen is a hit. I think they have a ton of growth ahead of them, both in the residential space, but also the commercial space. I think they can also include add-ons to their products, such as fertilizer or grass food, whatever that product category is called. Honestly, the main issue I have with Irrigreen is its valuation. So they're currently raising on Republic at a $16 million valuation, which to me feels a little bit high. I just think to make that leap to the $16 million valuation, I would like to see some more operating history to make sure that this is a proven concept. Anyways, I think they have a ton of growth. I'm going to personally invest in Irrigreen. I believe in the product and their mission, so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. That's it for today's video. I promise my next video will not be in the lawn care space. I'm going to expand, but as always, please like, comment, subscribe, please. And I will see you next time.